changing of the tides. A crash course, one-way ticket right into my life. Now we're falling into orbit, gravity is intertwined. Like constellations in the night, together we can shine. And now we'll never, never, never be apart. Keep you in my heart, 'cause you don't know how hard it is to find someone like you that only comes along once in a blue moon. You don't know how hard it is to stay away from you. Whoa, one of a kind, once in a blue moon, blue moon. A second is all it takes to be with you. A minute is all I need of your time. An hour, a day, a week, or a lifetime. Stay here by my side. A second is all it takes to be with you. A minute is all I need of your time. An hour, a day, a week, or a lifetime. Stay here by my side. You don't know how hard it is to find someone like you that only comes along once in a blue moon. You don't know how hard it is to stay away from you. Oh, one of a kind, once in a blue moon. You don't know how hard it is to. 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 You don't, 'cause you don't know how hard it is to find someone like you that only comes along once in a blue moon. You don't know how hard it is to stay away from you. You don't know how kind once in a blue moon, blue moon. Blue sheep, blue friend, blue sheep. From the day when we first met, you followed in my every step. Now you got me on the mend. Tell everyone, hey look, I've named him friend. Calm yourself and have some blue. Never one, forever two. Love you for the rest of time. Don't forget to sub with Prime. Friends together, friends whenever. Friends remember, friends forever. You know, even though I'm a ghost, blue sheep, I will always love you the most. Blue friend, blue will take the pain away. Blue sheep, so we can see the sun another day. Forget about the days of past. Blue sheep, our friendship is the one that will last. Blue friend, you know we can make it through, me and you. So give everyone a little bit of blue. Blue sheep, like the blue sea, like the flowers and the fishies, like the blue sky, flying real high. Let's wash away like all the memories pass by. Always by my side, always yours and always mine. Even though I died, you were feeling fine. Love you for the rest of time. Don't forget to stop with Prime. Friends together, friends whenever. Friends remember, friends forever. You know, even though I'm a ghost, blue sheep, I will always love you the most. Blue friend, blue will take the pain away. Blue sheep, so we can see the sun another day. Forget about the days of past. Blue sheep, our friendship is the one that will last. Blue friend, you know we can make it through, me and you. So give everyone a little bit of blue.
All right, all right, all right. Arcaders, how we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling? Let's get the energy hype in here. You know how I love the bigger love spreading through the airwaves whenever we have our ex faces Then we have a really, really, really political topic, but we're not going to get political. We're gonna remain objective. We're gonna talk about facts, opinions, as well as we predict the future of gaming. I believe for those who joined us in our previous X Space, you already know that gaming is at a really, really interesting juncture. And the direction it could potentially go, we're yet to find out. But tariffs, if they do happen, are definitely going to shape that time. Open Loot Thomas, I've shot you an invite to speak. Today we actually have a very calm audience and panel. I'm liking it so far.
Nah, we're chaotic, bro.
Go ahead,
We're
Defy Zoo.
chaotic. Yeah, you want the calmness to end? Let's bring the chaos. Yo, you better share the space if you're listening, bros. Hit the share button. Hit something hit the purple pill and say something. You're all listening, doing nothing. Do something.
You're all listening and doing nothing. That's what you've been told. So do something and smash that retweet button. I love it. Now, as I was thinking, and maybe calm space is not the right one, I've been corrected there. But we have a small panel. And whenever we have a small panel, arcaders, that means we have depth. So that's what I'm excited for. But calm energy, yeah, we're throwing that out the window. And to begin, panelists, we have seen a little bit of a trade war, tariff war occur in AI. You guys, as we begin this phase, see that it could happen in gaming. What are some of your raw thoughts here? Trust, we're gonna kick it off with you.
Hey, my man, it's been a while, Mr. Console. Sorry, this week's been hectic, but I've been keeping an eye. I know that you're keeping an eye on me too. Been missing you guys. Happy to be here again. The sentiment, man. I'm one of those that believe that regardless of whatever's happening in the world, tariffs, markets up, markets down, real builders will continue building. Despite of any conditions. So we're at it. We continue building through bears, through bulls, and regardless of the tariffs affecting gaming or not, we're gonna get through it all. Because that's what we're here for, to build, to swim against the stream, and hopefully deliver. That's what we are pushing forward, pushing the narrative. But I think that these days have been amazing because the timeline is showing us who's really up for the long-term fight and who's just here to flip the bags.
Facts. And I believe you missed. Yeah, jump in, Defy Zoo.
Oh no, I was gonna say who's here to flip the burgers though.
I mean, buddy, everybody's
I
getting
think I
mad
think
by
I
McDonald's
think
now.
I think AI is taking over the burger flipping algorithm. I think we're all wrecked.
All the degens that were in all these meme coins talking about when moon, they're the ones flipping burgers. Over here at Bigger, we care about projects.
They can't
Astro
even flip
Utility.
burgers though. AI took their jobs. Now what?
I love it. And at some point, we're definitely gonna circle AI into this discussion. I love trust that you've noticed, despite your lack of presence, despite your absence, I've definitely been keeping tabs with you for sure. And you state that no matter the macroeconomic climate, builders will keep building. I agree, but builders shouldn't build blindly, right? We should also factor in what's happening left, right, and center. We should lift our heads from our screens and observe the environment and try to position our brands right in the headwinds.
I'm going
So,
outside
Defy
to
Zoo,
I'm going outside to wash my car. You're like, yeah, we gotta go outside. I'm like, yeah, I literally just stepped outside. It's so nice out, man. Yeah, touch some grass.
All right, DeFi Zoo, before you get to a low Wi-Fi area, I just want to know, we're just breaking the ice. Do you foresee that possibly we could have the same trade war that occurred in AI stemming to gaming? Give us your thoughts here.
Well, so could you give me a quick understanding of what happened with AI as a preface? Because maybe I'm a little bit out of the loop. I kind of know some of the narrative there that you're kind of alluding to, but maybe if you could fill in some of the blanks there so I could, complete my thought.
Yeah, well, the big picture here is we have all these countries wanting to not invest in the other countries and wanting to essentially have really high guardrails towards their own technologies and most importantly spur that local industry. That's what occurred in AI loosely. Do you see that happening in gaming? Just to break the ice, we want to know your thoughts.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I don't think I've witnessed anything like that, like firsthand. I would, be honest to say that, maybe I'm not the expert to speak on this myself, but yeah, you would hope that tariffs and things are never going to stifle innovation from happening. That's kind of my take on it as a blanket statement.
I love that, and I love that you'll be bringing to the discussion this unopinionated opinion. I love it.
There you go. Don't stifle innovation, bros.
I love it. Creon, welcome on the spaces. I was very happy and fast to bring you up as a panelist. Give us your thoughts here. We're slowly snowballing into the discussion. What do you think?
Oh, hey, good to be here again, Mr. Console. And good to see everyone here. My initial thought on this is, tariffs. I didn't know that real estate, when something happened in China back in 2022 when I was just starting to like heavy on trading. I didn't know that what happens on real estate could actually affect crypto and the price of the chips that I'd like to eat. So it could possibly, indirectly affect gaming in a way, because price is gonna go up, right? In different countries, and a lot of these gaming studios are probably outsourcing talent from different parts of the world, and the rate could actually go up as well, and then the taxes and whatnot. So indirectly, it can. This is my initial thought on it.
I like your thought. I like that you're thinking in the right idea. And I gotta apologize that the chips you eat is much more expensive. But I also gotta say, maybe that's God. God is telling you, move away from French fries.
Yeah. Sometimes the Doritos and Mountain Dew, you just got to, leave them at checkout. Leave them in the store.
I love that. And I mean, that is a noble example, but we also have to factor that into our discussion. Because if the cost of goods, the cost of food is increasing, does that potentially mean that gaming and the gamer is gonna have less spend? Let's just have that in the discussion as we warm up to this great topic. Open Loot, what's up? Please.
Hey guys,
jump
how are you
in.
doing? Yeah, I just wanna point out that you guys didn't touch on something that's very direct about the impact of tariffs and everything on technology. I mean, the cryptocurrency mining industry, if you think about it, heavily depends on hardware that is manufactured in China, for example. that's gonna have increased prices for all equipment. Since we're having a lot of tariffs changes on the recent days, even with Trump changes and everything that's going on right now, I do think that a lot of places like EU may probably push for a sort of neutral AI trade agreements to try to avoid any type of, I don't know, stifling innovation or something like that. But I mean, crypto's already being charged for it in a way, right? Like if anything that it's outside of your country and it's being imported like by China or whatever, it's getting taxed on. Everything from your computer keyboard, from what you're eating, it's gonna have increased prices, right? So yeah, crypto is getting impacted by it for sure.
1000%. I love that early on into our discussion, you're talking about hardware, because hardware is already witnessing this double-digit dips in demand. And you want to add to that an increased cost? Oof. Might that actually be the nail to the coffin for the hardware business? And that is definitely something we're going to be diving into. DeFi Zoo, please. I see your hand raised.
Well, I have first-hand experience here. So, our blessed brother, Sir Choice, me and Floki Viking are blessing him with his first gaming laptop and sending it down to Colombia. And literally, there's an import tax on high-end electronics, literally making it more expensive to get him a freaking gaming PC. So, like, firsthand, right there, they make it difficult to get hardware into people's hands in different countries. That's a firsthand experience right there.
Yeah, and that is wild. And that makes it expensive. And that makes gamers less enthusiastic.
It's like plus
Yeah.
19% tax, I think it is. It's an import tax on high-end electronics. I think if the laptop's over $400, that's a giant import tax. Yeah, Thrust's got his hand up now.
Yes,
Yeah.
trust.
100%.
Yeah.
I know what it's like. It's insane. I mean, it was already difficult for me to get any kind of hardware here. Now the bros are getting me, and to see how much they have to pay just for customs and the tariffs of just shipping it from the States over to Colombia, it's insane. I was checking the rates, and it's just mind blowing. Like I don't know at this point if it was probably cheaper to just purchase the laptop over here, but yeah.
Nah, dude, nah, because we did that research already, and it looked like everything in your area. That's the other thing too. It's like your local area. You're like 2 generations behind on the pricing. It seemed like, at least from my initial research. So, like, is everything local? Like, kind of just like older hardware, and they're trying to like scam you on the price, or what?
It usually happens, they import big chunks, like they import not just the small amounts, but big amounts, and then they get stuck with some of the old stuff, and then they try to
Well, yeah, they're trying to sell
exactly.
they're trying to sell like 2050 gaming laptops for like the same price as like 4060 ones. It's like basically my research.
Yeah, but I see the impact, and Thomas is 100% spot on. Like the increase of the price of development will increase too. Like development is going high, the delivery timelines are going longer too, because the whole cost is going to be impacted. But I still remain buffalo-ish or bullish, if you want to call it that way. Why? Because I always know that gamers and gamer developers, they always find a way, right? Even in a developing country like mine, or maybe in other continents like Southeast Asia and Africa, I know that we always will find a way. There will always be this one guy that has got a gaming center, or he's got like the place where he's got the consoles and people goes and pays for having fun, right? Because it's still thriving in our country. So maybe it wouldn't be easy for me to access the hardware to get into the games, but I would be able to pay for renting the PC that will get me to play the title that I want to play. So yes, there's gonna be like the years and delays, but we're gonna get through it all. I mean, gaming is gonna happen one way or another. People needs entertainment, quality entertainment, and needs to connect with other people, and needs to game with other people. And in the bro show, we were talking about how gaming makes such meaningful connections. I mean, it's amazing. Like some of us got to meet the halves because of internet and technology, and several of them because of gaming, right? So it's inevitable. That's what I'm gonna say.
I'm literally sitting in the garage of my best friend who I met in kindergarten through playing games with, and we've been friends our entire life. He owns the house that I live in. That all is because of gaming, and we've like been business partners in past and done all this. That's all because of gaming. 100%. Literally have lifelong friends.
I mean, if it wasn't for gaming, we wouldn't be here. It's all because of gaming why we're here. And I love those takes from Thrust. Most importantly, Thrust. I hear in between the lines of what you said that you predict gaming stations are gonna come back in fashion. Just as OpenLoot Thomas stated, hardware is getting expensive. DeFi Zoo agreed to that. And maybe this means that we're gonna get this cyber cafes, that's what we term them here, getting back to fashion. And that is a very, very interesting thought, which pushes us more toward the multiplayer space. Now, when we talk about gaming, it is inevitable to, at least on mobile, see the impact China has. If we're talking about mobile gaming, which is the largest revenue segment of gaming, China is 6 out of 10 titles, right? And Creon, one thing we're seeing with this tension that Trump is somewhat brewing and breeding is Chinese companies no longer want to invest in American companies. We all know that Tencent was on this major buy. So Creon, talk to us a little bit about this thought. What do you foresee? Is the investment between the two countries going to completely stop? Or are macro analysts like myself a little too worried? Give us your thoughts here, Creon.
Dang, that's a loaded question for me, because I don't have the data. But because Tencent is really huge and they're almost everywhere. More than we realize. They're in different industries, so that's really gonna affect a lot. I forgot the exact question. Bro, can you repeat that? Like the shortest question there. How did
Yeah. I mean, essentially, I want you to talk us through how the investment landscape might potentially play out with this rising trade war, silent trade war in gaming, but it's definitely something that this major corporations are looking
Yeah.
to and hedging against.
Okay, if you invest when it comes to the investment landscape, I think if that really happens, that's gonna get pushed. I think this is, for some reason, I think this is positive for, I mean, maybe regional, because some of Tencent games are only available in certain what do you call this, regions, right? So those regions that they have, that they cover, they're probably gonna focus more on those regions, and then maybe they will have better, they will probably have better investments. They'll have more investors coming in and more gamers, players, and users, app users, gonna be, using and focusing on whichever they are on, so, but for Western, I think it's gonna be bad for Western. I don't have the data, which regions they are earning from, the majority of their earnings come from. I don't have it, but Yeah, I think it's gonna be good only for those regions. Well, especially here in Southeast Asia. I think they're fine here, but West, I don't know. I don't have really any input on that.
I mean, you do raise a really good argument because essentially you're saying that if they stop this money, capital flowing in on both sides, right? That just means they're gonna be investing locally and developing local talent. Or, as you also stated, seek different markets, which is a term we're all somewhat hearing in one way, shape, or form in the gaming conversation. DeFi Zoo, you had your hand up. Let's hear from you. Then we're gonna come to open you. But please, DeFi Zoo.
Yeah, sorry for Rug in there. Now, I lost my train of thought on why I had my hand up. I was literally cracking up to myself over here. I just accidentally like joined the like Love's Doll space and requested by accident. And then I left. I like ding dong ditched on their stage.
I'm not lying. Like, dude, I know what this goes because Mr. Console is always competing with Sam Stefanina, and it's gamified time. And I'm always showing up with Mr. Console because I love the way he's hosting spaces.
Never surrender. I just think it was hilarious. I accidentally just went and ding dong ditched on. I came back.
That's bigger love right there. Arcadas, that is bigger love. And I'm seeing this dude is always hosting. And dang, he bodies our space. He has a mad, massive audience there. But we love to keep it organic and simple here. So I appreciate that, trust. Thank you so much for choosing to experience the bigger love with us.
Organic
Okay,
is the way bigger.
Yeah. Tell us, now that your mic is unmuted and we were actually to come to you next, what are your thoughts about how the investment landscape is potentially going to play out? Chinese companies going to stop investing in American companies stop investing in Chinese companies? We've seen that it's already happening, but is that a trend that will have more dry wood to its fire?
Yeah, I don't know, Vic. I think in any way, crypto in general and this whole year 2025 will be basically shaped by geopolitical tensions. Like, we will have a lot of tension between all regions. Everyone is going to be fighting over the same things. I know that probably, Chinese constructors will probably push U.S. companies to invest in domestic enterprises, but I'm not sure if the US will be on board with that, as they're probably gonna request some stuff from their side as well that will probably not be on the books. So I'm not sure. I'd like to give you an answer with some concrete data, but I think it's hard to tell right now. I think in the next 12 months we will have a real separation between just hype and real value as we're in price discovery as well. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a concrete answer to that, Bigga, to be honest.
No, I mean, we're definitely tackling something that has not yet occurred. It's a little thought that I had and a trend that you're all somewhat stating could potentially take off. Right now it's silent, but everybody is prepping. Everybody is shifting their supply lines. Everybody is stopping investment flow. We're actually seeing that Chinese companies prefer to set up an arm in the US than to invest in a US company. So this is not yet happened. It's just game time and everybody is preparing for it. So I can understand when you say your thoughts are not yet fully formulated because it's not yet happened. DeFi Zoo, then Creon, let's get your takes here.
Now I remember why I raised my hand before. I was gonna say, you don't want to create tension with Tencent.
No, I know you say that as a pun, but that's actually very smart. Like, if you think about Tencent's power on all the games that they have, and only on the mobile marketing, it's definitely not a company that you want to get in a fight with.
And yeah, yeah. I mean, let's talk a little bit about that. Creon, I want to respect your hand, but let me also just throw this out as a question. China dominates the mobile space. Anybody who's looking to distribute a global app with live ops features is in one way, shape, or form partnering with Tencent. I want to also know which platforms might be affected the most. We've already spoken about hardware. That's definitely to me PC and console. But how does the mobile distribution ecosystem also get a kick in the butt? Let me just throw that out there as a question. Trust, get warmed up with your answer because we're coming right at you after Creon. But for now, Creon, please.
No, you caught me chatting with the guys on the Discord. I'm chatting and showing the laptop that I'm getting from Brother DeFi and Flocky, because it's the best gaming laptop that I've ever had. It's a Lenovo LOQ15 Ryzen 7. It's got everything I need to game hard and probably start even streaming and playing with the bros. So yeah, tariffs are affecting and impacting hard. There are even some delays with the delivery. I keep tracking it daily. But guys were asking about the cost, and you caught me red-handed. But man, in terms of not getting into a fight with China, I 100% agree. I mean, the power of Asia and China specifically in terms of game development and the titles they're coming with. I mean, a lot of developers might actually shift over to teams building from Asia because they're gonna be more affordable than getting development done from the states, and it's a huge competitor. So I think that Trump and Elon gotta play clever, gotta be um, careful with what he's doing because yeah, fighting with Asia, it's a fight that is hard to win over here. So the landscape in the world is changing, but I think that Asia is really, really well positioned with all of the companies and talent that they got. And they've been taking over the world already. I mean, check any product at home and read what it's from. It's probably made in China, right? And with gaming, it might happen the same. So we gotta be careful with these cold wars that we're witnessing and these trade wars that we're gonna start to witness too because of Trump's power. So I know you didn't want to get political, but I had to let that out.
There's no way we get into this discussion without getting political, guys. Just letting you know.
And I was saying, I don't want us to get political just to have that on record. It's not what I intend. I want us to get political.
Right thing, my man. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, but Creon, please, Creon, thank you for being patient with your hand up.
Of course,
Please talk to us. Yes.
yeah, I love hearing your our brother's thought. Anyways, so I think I honestly I really think that Tencent will be fine. Unless I mean even if the West would like prohibit um Chinese applications, from their platforms, from iOS, from App Store, Google, US, Play Store, US. I think we'll be fine. And if that happens, I believe Tencent has also invested in Web3 gaming. Um, so they can actually, maybe shift their focus to Web3 as well. That's an option. Anyways, on Web3, right? That is. Do you think that's gonna be affected? Web3 gaming, even though, because it's decentralized, right? Anybody can probably find a way to still like be part of Web3 game project. But yeah, all in all, I think they're just gonna be fine. And like what Thrust and Open said, China has the resources, and also the workforce in Asia is just going to be fine, and it's cheaper even. So it's not gonna affect the majority of its, maybe investment or its assets. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, Tencent is gonna be fine.
Tencent will be fine. Apple will be fine. Microsoft through Xbox will be fine. Sony will be fine. all these big conglomerates in gaming will be okay. But what about the little man? How will the little man navigate these headwinds? Because this just looks like more regulation on top of regulation, and that is a headache for an indie dev. Let me just throw that out there. DeFi Zoo, you had your hand raised. Let's hear from you. Then we're gonna come to open loop.
Yeah, I was just
If I
gonna, I was just gonna add a thought. You know, kind of like what Sir Choice said. You know, gamers are always gonna find a way. We'll always figure out what solution works best, no matter what you know regulation